Hello. I think this thing starts basically as soon as I hit the button, which freaks me out a little bit. I think I'm supposed to schedule it to make it actually have a start button or something. Let me make sure that works. Yep, I hear me. Okay. So, let's see. It's day 2.5 or 3. I do not know. It's Tuesday of 7-Day Roguelike. And last night, I was still working on the level stuff and had to go help the kids get back to sleep. Snuck out around midnight, and I have like a little bit more of a feature test here. So same stuff is still working, like the exit opens when you push a rock on it. You can walk on it when it's open. I don't think this appearance is final. I think it's too small. So I'll zoom back in once I get camera focusing on the player put in, and figure out like the rest of my level generation stuff that I'm testing right now. I may have to put off vision. I would like I have all kinds of engine support for vision, like which parts of the map are revealed or which parts of the map you can currently see. So that would be like explored would be something like you've been in a room and you can see it, and vision is like you can actively see if there's monsters moving around that area. But it may not be important for this game. I'd honestly rather just get on with the leveling up and fighting part rather than worry about visibility yet. So what I was working on is level generation, and I implemented a binary space partition, which I'm going to do here. I've been looking at the game on the left and my key bindings function on the right here, which is showing which functions get called by which key press. So if I hit M for generate, this is just like a total generation pipeline. All it really does is just slap some binary space partitions in there, and the rooms all have a different tile assigned. I can still walk anywhere right now. I'm just dividing up the map right now. It's 50 by 50. I might do like, I don't know, 40 by 80 or something that's more the same aspect ratio of the screen. I might get around to a mini map. That's all stuff I could do with the map nodes that are in here now. So some buttons I wanted to hit here. Let's play with the highlight U and I. So if I highlight room, hit U and I, right? Okay, so U and I should be able to hit. Oh yeah, let's go in order. So that brown one is room 0, and then room 1 is next to it, and then room 2 is over here, and room 3 is over here. The binary space partition basically takes one room and splits it into 2, and then I can do that again. So I have a graph, and if I do a walk of the graph, then I can get a different, like a sequence of rooms that you would be able to pass directly from one to the other. And that's really important for Sokoban, because I want to make sure that in the sequence that you move through a map, that the button and the boulder, even if they're in different rooms, even if they're in flip-flopped order, they're both before a door that the button controls. So I want you to be able to get the required item on one side of a blocker, and for that I need to know the sequence of the level. So I could actually, if you look at this, I could, oh, sorry, glad that doesn't crash. It just gives me an exception, which is cool. These 3 rooms that I'm highlighting here, they could be all connected, so I think that would be like acceptable for a like a triangle connection in the actual path of the map. That might make the puzzle kind of simple. It might make a door not block anything if you did that. Like specifically if the door was that room 1 to room 2, if a puzzle door locked that path, but there was a path from 1 to 3 and then from 3 to 2, it would short circuit the puzzle, which is just something that you have to specifically prevent if you're procedurally generating a level. So now that I have rooms, I want to go on to the actual level generation and just know that like I can merge rooms, or I think I have another button here. Like this one's the biggest, which is what the split is currently set to. So if I press Y here, it should split the biggest room, and now there's 5 rooms. And if we look at the sequence of the map now, let me go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think that last one will get split if I press Y for split single again. Yeah, it looks like it. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically I can, right now, split single just chooses the largest room based on area. But I could pick any room once I have, I walk the graph and get an order that they're in. I could split any of those rooms that I pick. So I could basically, let me actually try that via looking at the console. So I should be able to say like G equals crypt.level.graph. And this is the graph of that level right now. So if I were to say g.root, I get that particular room node, and this is not a room that's actually drawn anymore. This is the full size of the map. So g.root.left is the first one, and it looks like that was a like a horizontal split or something. Something I hadn't figured out is, do I need to like subtract 1 from the width of this room to make them not overlap? I'll just figure that out the hard way when I get to it, or maybe I'll just give these things like keep them solid on the right. I don't know. So each one of these rooms could potentially have left and right inside of it. So left.left. So that's got another smaller room in it. Looks like another thin strip. And this might actually be g.roots.left.left.left should be none, which means that this is the actual room that's on the map. This is that skinny strip right there. It has a width of 6 and a height of 50. Just wait. That's another open bug. It doesn't like when the console's open. Where do I go from here in demo terms? Oh, I could split this. So let me say g.root.left.split. So doing that, g.root.left.left, g.roots.left.right are both rooms now. And if it split it horizontally again. Okay, let me go back to this and let me just go through the rooms by highlighting you, because I have functions to do that. But okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did it actually? Oh, I think I split one like all the way at the end of the tree. So I could split, what's that, highlight 2. So let me go back to the console. I still have G. I have g.walk, which returns a list of the rooms in a traversable order. These rooms are all adjacent to the one before, and it touches every room. So if you needed my idea here would be, if you need to have a certain number of rooms, you could take one region and say, okay, for the boulder and door puzzle, I need 2 rooms. I need to take my one big area and split it into one area that's going to have the boulder, one area that's going to have the button, and my link to the next room after that is, outside of the large room that this puzzle is being built in. That hallway is where I'm going to put the the blocker door. So I could pick one of these rooms and say, okay, yeah, this is the room that we'll put the puzzle in. Now I'll do my splits inside of that one by picking that room and calling split to make a smaller room inside of it. So what did I want to show about this? Just wait, it's okay. Got my nodes. I don't have a merge function. That might be neat, so I can put rooms back together. Especially if you get rooms that weren't originally split from each other. I might be able to get some L-shaped rooms, but that's a lot more complicated than just doing the graph itself. So, welcome aboard. It looks like I actually saw some people look at the live stream. That's kind of weird. Okay, so yeah, we got keyword input. We got a nice little highlightable tree here. I guess what I want to do here is fix this bug because it's annoying me. What does this say? Highlighted needs to be in range. So we get the highlight function. Okay, and what I should just say before I do that is say modulo by the length of room, so it should automatically wrap around. Let's see if that works. So for, I think it print statements before that. So yeah, now it just loops around. And what else is I gonna do? Let me see if I have any idea here. Let's close that and try to figure out what I was doing. Yeah, I had some ideas for like what the sequences should hold as you go further down. But some other stuff I have to do next would be stepping off a button. Oh, I had a good idea on how to do that, so let me take a crack at that. Let me open up the entities. Oh. And one thing I thought about was during try move, I did this kind of complicated thing that it can propagate a test event, and if you do bump or try move with test equals true, it's basically checking if it will succeed. I don't know if this is actually, like, it won't modify the positions of everybody unless test is equal to false. I don't know if this is actually used anymore. Let me see if test equal true is in anywhere. It's not in there at all. So I was trying it and it didn't actually seem to be required. The reason I did that is, was it in Boulder? Somebody's bump. No, only Boulder and Button have bumps. Let's I can lock exits back manually, but I want them to be locked again when you push the boulder off the button. You gotta leave it there. can't remember what I was trying to do here. I thought, oh, maybe it's in the base class because everything good is try move. Can you see? Oh, there it is. That's the one. So I put here that it has to sort the entities by draw order. Why do that? Like, the bug I was seeing was that if there was a boulder on top of a button and you try to push the boulder wouldn't move. You would just go on top of both of them. So the issue there was that the player was trying to move onto the square, finding a button, asking the button if it's allowed to go there, and the button says, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm a button. You can step on me. So it just returned true, and it let the event happen even though there's already a boulder on top of that button. So by sorting it, I'm basically asking it to check with the boulder first because the boulder is higher in the draw order, or it's later in the draw order actually because you draw the things on top last. So you got to reverse the order of it and ask the boulder if you can move it. Because if the boulder is against another boulder, then it can't move at all, and it needs to block you from pushing it off the button. But if the boulder lets you move, then the button can just sort of deal with it. So this is one of the complications of letting as many entities as you want sit in the same grid square. But, you know, that's I think it's a real handy way to organize stuff if you want to push a boulder on top of a button. But it is annoying if you have, like, say, you know, an enemy and a button, and now you're trying to step on top of them. There's edge cases to handle there. So that does work now just by checking with the boulder before the button. And what I wanted to add here was in try move, when we return true, which is either whatever the bump says, or the bump is complicated because every bump does its own thing. So if you bump a boulder, what it will say is other draw position equals my old position. It will basically try a move along the same direction that the person that bumped it did. And if it succeeds, because boulder says boulders can't push other boulders, it polices itself. If the boulder's move succeeds, then your move succeeds and everybody moves. Bump is actually moving them after it checks. So I think when we move them, it might be better, instead of just editing each other's coordinates, to have a do move. Let me just put these out here. Let's say do move, and that'll be target X, target Y. Enter. And let me say other. And I need to put like I hate using exit as exit is like way overloaded now because it means the exit door, and it means this event I'm talking about, which is oh, let me put like EV in front of it. So the idea here is do move, and this will be like base class method to move this entity from, what is it, need a new line. Okay, so from, and that's going to be self dot entity dot draw pos to txty, and EV enter for every let's do EV exit for every entity at the current position and calls EV enter. And the reason to do that is boulders won't even implement this because they don't care about things entering and exiting their square. It's not even supposed to happen according to the physics of being a solid rock. But buttons and doors will use this because I can use exit to the boulder calling do move, or do move being called on a boulder, will make it leave the square that it's on, which will send that button EV exit. And when the boulder exits the square with the button can call the lock function on its door. So you push a boulder off a button, the door relocks. And then when the player steps off of the button will get EV exit again, and that will allow the door to relock when you push a boulder or step off of a switch. And I'll also put like kind of ambiance sound effects that play when this happens, and text message in the console that shows when you cause these things to happen. So what I'll need to do here is search this code for changes to draw position and instead call do move, because what I'm going to say here is old pos equals self dots draw pos, and new, well, it's txty. So we got our old position, which we're going to hold on to. Do I have I think I need to use game.entities here. So, and just assuming like do move, I'll add this to the notes too. Okay, so old position, new position, we will say for, well, and we're not going to alert our own entity that something entered the square, which was you walking. So, or boulder noticing it itself moved into a square, pointless. So this is I'm going to iterate twice because I want to make sure that exit is always called first and then enter is called last. Let me think about that. It's just to make sure that I don't want the door to stay locked when someone's leaving a button, or for the door to like if you push a boulder off a button and then step on it, it should be exit event and then enter event, because we want the button that it'd be good if there's a message that the door kind of clicked when you push the boulder off and push yourself on. But we want the door to not get the exit event last, because that would mean you got double events, the switch was entered twice, and the door ended in a locked state, which is would be bad. You would have to step off the button and step back on it to get it to actually activate correctly. So, and this is if e.draw pos equals old pos, e.exit EV exit self. And, you know, just depending if the buttons or whatever, maybe like a sensor wants to check if it's, you know, a player type or an enemy type, or just landmines don't go off when a friendly steps on it, any kind of like thing like that. We want to give the event the other entity that caused it. We don't trigger our own events, and if e.drawPos equals self.drawPos or txty. And actually, these might be, I don't know, see what the consequences are. I think they're being passed as floats in some cases, which is because entities don't have to be things strictly on tiles. It could be something like you know, a smoke or a weapon or any kind of like decoration on top of another entity, or just an actual position on the grid. Like if you wanted a animated fire entity, that could be on the corner of 4 points or something. Draw position is supposed to be a float. I'm only using it as an integer here because I'm trying to keep it simple, but it could be drawn anywhere on the grid. So ev enter self. And that should do nothing, so let's just make sure I didn't break anything. We're moving. Because everybody has the base class implementation, nothing is changing. So now what I need to find is drawPos, which has try move, if not test. So this would be one that says, well, this is just like the open spatial move, but it should be self dots do move txty. And let me double check my own sloppy brain. Do move txty. Maybe that should be a tuple coordinate, but I don't have the patience to double check my consistency right now. Other dot relative move dxdy. So maybe relative move needs to just, yeah, switch to the same thing. Property. The boulder might be the only one that actually does it directly by coordinates. Try move is just looking. Relative move. Yeah, good. So same thing. And let me just add to the button now. Def ev enter. Okay, and this is something I'll comment out too, because what the effect of that was, it had to be a boulder to unlock, and I actually want the player to be able to basically I want them to be able to see which door is triggered by a switch just by stepping on it. I don't think that will play into any mechanics, but clicking a switch in a door when you step on it and unclicking when you step off of it is just a mechanic I really wanted to demonstrate. I don't know if that's good game design, but it's what I'm going with. And that would be, let's see, unlock, and let me just put a I'll add a console on screen, but until then, exit self other. Exit.lock. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's moving. Man, it's really ugly in big debug mode. Okay, button makes satisfying click. Button makes a disappointing click. The door has become walkable, which is so it animated closing. Okay, I have to look at the order in which this propagates. The button makes a satisfying click. The door is open. Great. But if I push it, let me just put a blank line here. If I push this boulder, the only event it's getting is button makes a disappointing click. So let's double check that when boulder, let's see, boulder, oh, yeah, another one of these. So where does it move itself? At what point does the boulder move itself? So let me just see if that does it, because, whoo, that is some garish color scheme. Okay. Okay. Do move didn't have target position, so. Ah. Comes to bite me. The argument types. Pushing boulders. Okay, I just resets that so I can see the floor better. So push, click. Push, double click. Boom. That does exactly what I wanted, except for the door stays walkable after it's been unlocked any number of times. So self.locked, self.unlocked, other relative move. Boulders can never move into a door. Okay. If self.unlocked, oh, let's see, self.lock. Okay, let's test this. Push a rock. Doors unlocked. Okay. Button clicks twice, step off of it, door's locked again. Okay, that's really, I think, between that and a good old, let's see, go nuts with it. Like, how many rooms can I get? Every call to split doubles the number of rooms. God, they always, like, it goes so horizontal. It's really awful looking. Let's see if I've got a... in the level. In my split, I tried to weight it so that if a room is a lot more narrow than it is wide, or vice versa, it doesn't get more skinny. So let's like... Okay, that looks more squarish, so I think I just made those relative fractions wrong. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I think these rooms might have to... You get that many rooms, it might have to look more like a... I don't know, some kind of like cave. Like start adding little clods of stuff instead of trying to wall in each square. Like that one's only 2 wide. That's basically a hallway. Something else I could do is just subdivide things until they're too wide or too tall and call it a hallway. Okay. So in terms of things to do, I have... where am I? I mean, I did this. I did the repper thing. You can step on a boulder, that's a button. Fixed. Okay. From here, I guess I will try to add walls. try to add some hallways and try to get the some different stuff added in different parts of the dungeon. And yeah, let me go for that. Like, I had a schedule drawn up, but I haven't looked at it in 2 whole days, so not going to start now. So that would be put stuff in sequential rooms. Add walls. I did draw up all because I'm about to end this thing here. I did draw up a little cheat sheet for my sprites, which is basically where adjacent walls should be, what the sprite should be for that wall. So I'll basically start by drawing a outline of which exact tiles should be walkable and which ones are solid, and then give the solid ones a tile appearance so that they look like nice continuous walls. Haven't done that before either. That's another one of those things that really should have been done and demonstrated with my engine before I try to do a game jam with it, but whatever. I honestly feel like it's halfway done at this point. So once I have walls and I'll make the exit actually send you to a new level and just generate it when you step into the door. After that, it'll be stuff like showing info on screen and move on to enemies. I didn't want enemies to be a major part of this, but I did want to do a thing where the enemies have like a really predictable 1, 2, or 3 health, and you kind of know from your upgrades whether or not you'll be able to fight them or how much HP you expect to lose while fighting them, and just give people a choice really if they want to try to push a boulder around while dodging a goblin, or if you want to trade HP with him and fight the monster. That's the basic idea, and you know, I'm already happy with the progress that's been made. So see you in the next